Okay guys, in this video, we are going to be making one of my favorite projects out of a 1x6. If you don't know what this might be, it's an egg holder. And I built my first one. Usually I'd be building this out of cedar, but I don't have any cedar right now, so I'm sticking with pine. So, let's get to building. Alright guys, so we're going to start building, but what you'll need is a pencil, a square, and a tape measure. And if you want to, you can get one of these. These are actually really handy. And I will leave a link in the description for these. So, this is a 1x6, so it's 5.5 wide, 3.25 thick. And then I cut it down to 15 inches long. And you're going to want to cut 2 of these. And then, this board is 9.75 long, and then 3/4 thick, and 5.5 wide. You're gonna want to cut 2 of those as well. And then make sure you have some extra board after you cut this, because we're gonna be cutting another board at the end. So what you're going to want to do is pull out your tape measure and mark 2.5. And then from that mark, you're going to jump up to 4.5. Then we're going to go 8 or 6.5. Then 8.5. Then 10.5. And 12.5. That way, our holes will be equally spaced out. And then you're going to go to the side like this. And it's 5.5. So, I think what we'll do is mark at 4 inches. And then 1.5 inches. And then we grab our square and square these marks up. And now that these are squared up, we got to do the long ones. Now, if you have a square where you can just kind of put your pencil in it and then just kind of slide it down, I'd say use that. But I don't have that, so I'm just going to measure all of my marks and just put it at the right distance. And then you've got that marked. And now we're going to get our hole puncher. Like I said, I'll leave a link. And we are going to punch all of these intersecting lines. Now, the reason for these punches is that we are going to use a Forstner bit to drill these holes. And you know how Forstner bits are. They've got that little, whatever you call it, that little point at the end. So that point will get into that hole, and it'll just be a really accurate hole. So, got this board done. And now, we're going to do it on this board. Perfect. And now, you're going to get your shorter boards. Measure that out. Let me go find this measurement right quick. Kind of forgot it. Okay, so you're going to choose what side is going to be your bottom. I kind of want this side to be my bottom. And you're going to measure. You're going to mark 1/2. And then you're going to go up, mark 5/2. And then you're going to square those up. Damn, you sharpen my pencil. And And then you're just going to do the same thing with this board. Choose what side you want as your bottom. Pull down. Or pull up, I guess is what you could call it. Mark the same stuff. And bam. You've got everything marked. So now, let's go drill these pieces out. Okay, so I have my drill set to where it will bottom out where this little point will just get right through the bottom, and then I'm gonna drill through this later. But actually, since it's pine, I think I'll just go all the way through. Usually with cedar, kind of just breaks the board, makes it not look as good, but maybe pine will be different. So what you can either do, dang, I need to clean it up over here. You can grab a board, just a scrap board somewhere, or not. We don't have any scrap boards, and then just drill it. Yep, just what I expected. Don't do this. Set it to where it will bottom out just right. Now that I have this side drilled, whatever you want to do, you can drill the other one first, but I think I'm just going to do this side first and just drill all these holes. Be careful that you make it perfectly in, or else it'll just look like junk. That looks good. After we sand and route these holes, it'll look absolutely perfect. So now I'm gonna finish sanding this one, or not sanding, drilling this one. Now I've got my sander, and I have, there you go. Been using the same piece of sandpaper for the longest time. Now I've got some 120 grit on. Let's get sanded. Holy! Haven't realized how much I've been using the sander. Now we're gonna hit this back on with some 320 grit. Looks like it's real wine. In the spring air it's nice, but I squint my eyes from the sun. Things got out of hand last night, so I post up on the front. Okay, so let's get on the routing. I've got a 3/8 round over, what I always use, and I'm just gonna route both sides of these holes. That looks awesome. Now, next thing we're gonna do is Throw the edges out on these. Okay, so for this part on the routing, we have our router bit set to 3/16 of an inch, and we're just going to run it through, which should leave our little hinge that's going to go into the side of our egg holder, 1/4 of an inch thick. Alright guys, sorry that I wasn't recording those final steps after the routing, but we did a little bit of stuff that the phone didn't record. But basically, I'm just going to tell you what I did. So basically, what I did was after we put these little hinges, I don't know what to call them. I'm calling them hinges. But after we put those little hinges on, we set the table saw to 3/4 of an inch up. And basically, 2/8 wide, so that this piece with this little hinge, it's 2/8 wide, so we can just fit nice and snug in there. And then we went ahead and got an oak 4x4 and just cut little 2/8, no, not 2/8, like 1/8 slits of just wood to go across the back, so the little holders don't slide out when they're sliding in. And then we went and cut this piece, which is 14 3/8 inches across. It's not too small, so this isn't too tight. It's not too big, so it's too loose. It's just right, so it just fits nice and snug in there. And then we got little trim pieces, 3/4 of an inch wide and 1/2 an inch thick. And then we just measured our top long to long, cut that over there, and then long to long on the sides. And then I went over the whole thing with red oak stain. I personally love that red oak stain because I just love the way it looks. But after you stain something, remember to wipe it off with a paper towel. That's what really makes this thing look nice. But if I forgot a step, or you want to know how I did something on this, or if you want to know anything on a project or something, just comment below and I'll try to reach out with you as soon as I can. I'll tell you whatever I did if you want to know. So, thanks for watching. I hope you get out in your shop, make some sawdust for one of these. They're very easy.